Look, the party's over. It's been a long vacation, and your fans are waiting to see you again. And you guys all know how you look in rehearsal is how you come across on stage.
'Cause if it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind?
We fought for equal rights, equal opportunity, not equal roles. We did not want to become a man. Men still have to do what men must do.
If it isn't love.
Brandon, if I get a strike, you get the hit. You get the hit. Are you ready?
I don't want to hit. I don't want to. Gutter, please gutter. Please gutter.
Why does it hurt so bad?
Why don't men ever pick the pick-me women? And it's because they get too much pleasure out of humiliating and turning down the women who they believe are way more into them than they are into her.
Makes me feel so sad inside.
He had to do it for those guys who are never picked. He didn't just do it for him. He did it for the men at home who never get a chance to reject women.
If it isn't love.
Happy International Men's Day.
Baby boys are going out of fashion. For most of history, parents have wanted sons, as they traditionally inherited the family's name and its wealth. But in recent years, this bias for boys has dramatically decreased in developing countries, and in the rich world, people are even starting to prefer daughters.
There is a quote in the foreword by Gwendolyn Brooks that reads, "Conduct your blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind." And then Farah Jasmine said in the foreword that you and the nation blossomed in the whip of the whirlwind. And I think about what it must have been like for you with the whole world watching. I think about you being the first and the narrow, subjective public expectation that had zero margin for error. And then I think about you as a person and a human being. How did you stay connected to yourself and your self-worth while balancing lofty expectations on one side and being expected to fail on the other?
These days, when I see interviews like this, I have a bit of a different take on them than I would have had previously. When I see a question like this, which is really kind of convoluted, it's a feel-good question that allows her, Michelle Obama in this case, to express some feelings that she wants to get out. And if this is going to be the future of leadership in the West, what more and more people are saying that they want women, they want girls, and you're going to eventually have women leaders. This is the kind of talk that we're going to get more of. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just going to be the order of the day. And so when you hear a question about blossoming in the middle of chaos, that's going to be political discourse in the future of the West. And Michelle Obama answers it the way it should be answered.
I think my motto has always been throughout my life, because that is a battle as a Black woman in the world, as women in the world, that we always face, is surpassing other people's low expectations of us. So I was practiced in it. I was practiced in being doubted and underestimated. And so my approach was focus on the work, focus on getting the A, focus on getting to college, focus on finishing the paper, focus on doing the job right in front of me well.
Of course, it goes without saying I have a very healthy respect for former First Lady Michelle Obama. I mean, she was a very accomplished lawyer. She put her career to the side so that the man that she met, Barack Obama, a very smart guy himself, could be president. However you feel about him being president, one thing I find interesting about these kinds of conversations between Tracee Ellis Ross and former First Lady Michelle Obama is that she's a diplomat. She's going to speak for the people that are important to her as she sees as a constituency. So when she speaks about the desire for having a woman president, what she's really saying is that the people she represents are women, and more specifically, Black women. And when you search this interview, you don't see a single time where Black men are mentioned anywhere in the conversation of an hour and so minutes or so.
How do you feel about the fact that the First Lady is an archetype for wifedom and femininity?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. It's, you know, it is a completely throwback on. It's a definition that has no current status in how women actually show up in the world today.
Look, the party's over.
In a way, it is over. We're going to hear an argument from former First Lady Michelle Obama that we never heard from her, I'll say, quote unquote, black husband when he ran for president. He knew that he had to be the best candidate. But that's not the argument that she's going to make here. She's going to make a different one, which symbolizes the fact that we're now playing a different game with different rules.
Do you think that that impacts the room that we've made for a woman to be president?
Well, as we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it. What was the question?
We fought for equal rights, equal opportunity, not equal roles. We did not want to become a man. Men still have to do what men must do.
The simple question I have in reaction to this conversation is the presidency or any prize worth having something that you're supposed to get when it's your turn to get it? Or is it something that you're supposed to earn because you're good enough to get it? That's what I mean when I say that the party is over, because we don't know what the rules are anymore. If the rule is you have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that you're good enough to win over the vote of more women voters than men voters. I mean, obviously, if every woman in America decides they're going to vote for whatever candidate, that candidate's going to win. Why isn't the argument what we have to do as women to win over other women, as opposed to what do we need to do to have these quote unquote bigoted sexist men vote for a woman president because it's our turn now? That's what's a bit confusing to me, because this is an argument we know would not have worked for Barack Obama running as a first, I'll say again, quote unquote, black man. He had to prove competence. So why are we changing the rules? And that's how we got here. And guys are saying, if there aren't any rules to this game, what game are we playing here?
According to The Economist's calculations, roughly 50 million fewer girls have been born globally since 1980 than you would expect. In 2000, the worst year, there were around 1.7 million more male births than would have been normal. Many of these missing girls are an unintended consequence of China's draconian one-child policy. When parents were only allowed one child and were desperate for a boy, they were more likely to abort girls.
You think the same to abort them? Don't you think it's a little bit too extreme?
No, let me interrupt you, because I'm going to say this and then I have to go to another caller. No, I don't think it's extreme, because based off what you're saying, they don't want to be black anyway. They don't want to be born black anyway. They prefer to be born like you or white. So why would we be birthing black males who don't even want to be black? Honestly, your women and white women can give birth to them, because they would prefer to come through the womb of your women anyway. So really, we're just doing them a favor.
So I've been abstinent for almost 4 long years, y'all. So this is one of my biggest secrets for my success. For y'all that don't know what the that mean, I ain't had sex in almost 4 years. As a man, bro, sex is not a game. It's very sacred. My frequency is right here, it's level, because I'm not throwing out my energy to girls. I'm focused on my goal, y'all. So for men out here having like serial dating and kind of being a hoe, I don't recommend that, bro. If you on your come up, bro, trying to be successful, you need you a solid team, a few people, and just keep it just like that. Create your value. That's when women will come to you.
Here it is. If I get a strike, you get the hit. You get the hit. Are you ready?
I don't want to hit. I shall. What number is a match? 182. Perfect. I'll stay around for that. I got you. Hell yeah, good shit. Really good shit.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. What's your name?
Ava.
Muggsy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I got you.
And my back of my hoodie.
Yeah, back of the hoodie. There we go. No problem.
In America and Scandinavia, couples are more likely to have multiple children if the early ones are male, suggesting that they're more likely to keep trying for a girl than a boy. Reasons for this bias vary. Girls are seen as easier to bring up. Traits seen as female are cherished.
One of the cool things about social media is that you're going to run into some immensely popular social media star that you never knew existed, like I did when I ran across Muggsy Bulljunk. He's an advocate for wrestling, and I think more specifically women's wrestling, and that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good thing to see, right? But he's also a representation of how things have changed, where when I was a younger guy and we'd listen to New Edition, it was about singing to a young lady that we thought was the bee's knees and we wanted to have a family with. But now we're in a different age where this guy is promoting wrestling while also promoting, as a guy, being abstinent. It's a new environment for a game that doesn't have any rules. And quite simply put, if you lose the game, you will get ridiculed.
Clearly, Mr. McCreary is not attending to his family matters. He has 2 daughters and 1 son, and this matters regarding 1 daughter who lives in Michigan. He has previously been ordered to pay child support. As of August 20th of last year, he owed $75,473.26.
We did not want to become a man. Men still have to do what men must do.
You get the hit. You get the hit. Are you ready?
I don't want to hit.
As such, this defendant is remanded to the custody of the sheriff without bail. And the court sets a 30-day date for view hearing in this date, and that date is
November 14th, 2025 at 8:30, Department 101.
Okay, thank you.
Let's talk about the hair. Okay. You wrote, in a way, being first lady was just another professional experience where I had to conform to a white environment of appropriateness. And you said that you kept your hair straight throughout the White House years so it would not be a talking point. Your journey is much like that of many of us Black women who have felt that we have had to conform to beauty standards that we didn't see ourselves in. How did you keep your hair healthy with all that heat? What day was wash day? Did you sleep in rollers or a bonnet? And how'd you keep your edges?
All answered in the book. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. You're not gonna have your hair if we keep doing this. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And that's when he finally convinced me to start using extensions and wigs and things like that. But I wanted to come out of the White House with my sanity, my children intact, and my edges together. That was really the directive. So hair health was a big part of that. And then I realized, well, that's what everybody's doing in Hollywood and, for women and Black women. And you can talk about this because the hair journey for women in TV has changed significantly.
'Cause if it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? If it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Makes me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love.
I guess there's a bit of irony in the difference between how we as younger men looked at our counterparts when we were listening to songs like If It Isn't Love, and young men today who are simply saying, I don't want to have sex with you because it's not worth it. Because back in the day, and I guess maybe it's sexist by today's standards, it was very simplistic. We saw the young lady as someone that could be our potential mate, and we had this feeling inside that if it's not love, I don't know what to call it because it's this special feeling. But what happens when you're in an age where you rip up all of the old rules and now you have someone who is not just complaining about being president, but in the same interview, she's talking about her battle with how to have her hair in the White House. I don't think that she's very worried about men that are going to jail without bond for $75,000 in back child support. I would imagine that many of her supporters were simply saying, be a man, that's your job, you're supposed to pay. And so if that's the calculus, then you're going to get guys that are saying, you know what, that old thing of getting all the girls you can get, that's not the play anymore. Especially when it's easier than it's ever been. All you have to do is pay or have some clout, and these young ladies are on the internet basically making themselves available to whoever has the money or whoever has the clout. The prize, quote unquote, that it used to be is not that prize anymore. And when you see one of the fallen stars of our youth sitting in a courtroom, basically going to jail without bond because he can't pay thousands of dollars that basically young ladies saw their young children as, I hate to say it, a paycheck, he goes to jail. Now, should he not pay? Of course he should pay. But does he deserve to go to jail? If you're going to say yes to that question and you're going to say yes, you want a female woman president, then you're going to have guys taking a step back and saying, if this is the calculus, y'all can have all of it because I'm cool. Because we can clearly see it's not if it isn't love, but rather no, it isn't love. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.